Two guys either side of 50 with one dream to achieve middle-aged sporting glory. This is the Missing Links Golf Show. Andy Walker, welcome back to the Missing Links Golf Show. It is quite remarkable that we are now into December of 2024.
Yeah, well, I do remember having the conversation last year about how I was feeling coming into December, and I sort of felt like I was going to fall over the line last year. And
that's right.
We did sort of realise that I actually fell before the line and had to be dragged over the line.
Correct.
Or someone dragged me across the line. I was like way too ill to actually understand who that was. But look, this year I'm actually feeling a bit better. I'm actually feeling a little bit pumped, a little bit motivated to get into 2025. I feel like it's been a good year. I feel like there's been some challenges, but also feel as though there's been some reasonable highlights as well. So, yeah, I'm actually feeling a lot better than what I did this time last year.
Bit to unpack in all of that. So firstly, I would say that's great news. Congratulations. And I'm very happy that you're feeling better this year than you were this time last year. I guess the other thing that I would potentially say is that you are providing yourself with a particularly low bar of which to step over if you were comparing as your baseline last year.
You've got to start somewhere.
Apparently you do. But no, that is good. I think, wow, hasn't it been a year? I mean, let's not focus on that too much because we're not yet ready to do our 2024 in review episode. That's not
true.
What we're here
That's
for.
That's
true. That is coming, Pilgrims. But it really has been, it's been quite a big year indeed. So I think there's been some good golf. There's been some not so good golf at times. But
there's been some golf lacking.
There's been some absence of golf at other times. Yeah, I think June or July for you. July maybe.
Yep.
We've had our first state tournament a month ago. That was exciting. Speaking of tournaments and speaking of being in December, Andy Walker, as you look down the camera quizzically wondering where on earth I am going with this segue.
I think I know where you're going.
Pilgrims, it is currently the evening as we record. It is the evening of the 3rd of December 2024. I'll put the year in there because nobody knows, like we don't know when people are going to be listening to this episode. It could be in 2030. It is 2024, the 3rd of December at midday tomorrow on the 4th of December. Entries open for the 2025 New South Wales Senior Amateur Tournament.
Ooh, that's big. That's big.
That is big. We're on the verge of entering something. Let's just take a moment, Pilgrims, to appreciate that because that tournament is like central to the whole premise of this show.
Yeah. Yep. And look, it's going to be a great event. I think it's certainly a milestone. Well, I mean, I've already played in a few senior events, but for yourself,
it'll be my first.
It'll be your first senior event after clocking over the downhill run in February.
After cresting the hill and commencing my descent down the other side.
Yes.
It is exciting. Like that genuinely is exciting. And not only are we entering that one event, but rumour has it we may be entering 2 events that week.
Yes. There could be an alternate shot event that we're playing prior to.
That's amazing. I have already.
We're gonna have to get the team gear out. Surely we've got to get the team gear.
It is so happening. Name on the back as well. Are you going? Can we go that far, or will we get kicked off the course? I don't think it's allowed. I don't think. Yeah. But we could potentially get the name embroidered under the crest on the front of the shirt. Leave it with me. That is exciting. That is genuinely exciting. I've already put in my annual leave request for that week, first week of March.
Nice.
So
yeah, I'm probably going to have to run that past management.
Because I did mention that to my lovely wife this afternoon, that it looks like being a 4-day event for us. It was well received.
How'd that go?
It was actually well received. It was well received.
Nice.
So, no, that's exciting. That's very exciting. So there's a lot happening there. We'll keep you posted, Pilgrims. Hopefully we actually qualify for the event as well. It'd be embarrassing if we didn't.
I reckon we're a pretty good chance. I mean, we've qualified, both qualified for the New South Wales Country Championship, so I reckon we're good for the senior amateur. It's an expanded field because it's over 2 golf courses, and then there's a cut after the second round.
Second round,
whether we actually make it past the cut to the third round, I mean that's questionable, but
could be a 3-day
we'll
event.
see how that goes.
Yeah. Oh, that's got to be the goal, though. I mean, really,
first up.
That's
first up, it's got to be making the cut.
Absolutely got to be the goal. Yeah. No, it's exciting. Andy Walker, we will be strapping ourselves in midday tomorrow. I might just put a reminder on the phone to get in there and drop the email to Emmanuel at midday tomorrow.
Yeah, first in.
Yes, why not? Why not? So anyway, that's all in store. That's all in the future. But we're not here tonight to talk about the future. We're here to talk about what is happening right now. And there is a bit, because one of the first things that we need to cover off is the results from November for the Missing Links Golf Show Yearly Championship. We do have a couple of other things that we might want to chat about as well during the episode, but I think that's the lead story. Andy Walker, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've covered our 2 rounds in the country championships, and as the Pilgrims would know, you're well ahead from a net score from the country championships, but there was a couple of other rounds that were played.
Well, only by you, because I did not strike a blow for the remainder of November.
Well, maybe one other round then.
That'd be about it, yeah. We have had some pretty dire weather over the sort of back end of November, and certainly the first few days of December, which has put quite the literal and figurative dampener on things. But Andy Walker, I think you got out a couple of days before the end of the month to have another crack to see if you could peg back my lead in November. And if you did, you would clinch the yearly championship.
Yes, yeah, I did sneak out at my home club on the 26th of November, just in the midweek comp, and yeah, look, I was relatively confident that I was going to play well. I mean, I played well in parts in the country championships, just had a couple of fairly poor
bad
finishes.
Holes, that was all.
And I have been doing a fair bit of work. I mean, we talked last week about, my tech stack that I've got in the high performance center, and I've had that for a little while now. So I was working with that through.
Sorry, did you just
November.
call that a tech stack?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I've got a tech stack. Do you like that?
What's a tech stack?
It's a stack of tech.
Oh, man, you caught me by surprise on that. Okay. Good. That's good. A tech stack. Yep. Okay. Moving on.
So I've been using my tech stack in the high performance center.
What's the velocity of your tech stack like?
Oh, look, it's awesome at the moment. It's out there.
Okay.
So yeah, been making a couple of swing changes. So there was a little bit of an unknown as to how those swing changes were going to go on the golf course, and especially in a competition. And as the Pilgrims know, the one thing that I'm really trying to do is to really get out of the old habit of casting and having a steep downswing. So, and what I found is that I was, in order to get the club face back to square, I was actually opening the club face a lot through impact.
Opening the club face through impact.
Yeah. So as I was sort of casting and coming steeply in and across the ball, I was opening the club face to try and get it square.
That's unusual.
Yeah. So, well, if you're coming across as a right-hander, if you're coming across from outside to in, right, the only way you can have it, like if you've got the club face closed, you're going to duck hook it, right? Which was happening a lot.
Yeah.
So the only way that you can really square up the club face is to have an open club face.
But that's the
in
bit
relation to your
path,
to your swing path.
I 100% get that, but sorry, the bit that was getting me when you were saying that you were opening the club face through impact, because like the release of the club will be a closing motion.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is the club face was open in relation to the swing path.
Yeah.
So I was
you're kind of holding it off a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you. I get it.
Yeah. So it's semantics, man. Like
no, I know, but it's the visual that it paints.
Yeah.
And if it's freaking me out, chances are it's freaking one or two of the pilgrims out as well when they're hearing you opening the club face through impact. So anyway, continue.
So probably a better way of putting it, I was keeping the club face open through impact, right?
Right.
So what I've been doing with my practice sessions, and I can feel it when it gets into the slot during my practice sessions in the high performance center. I feel like I'm making a lot of gains, but it also means that I'm releasing a lot better through impact. So I was a little bit intrigued as to how that was going to go on the golf course, because as we know, previous experience dictates that if I have some of my old tendencies of being very steep and then releasing through the through impact.
Duck hook.
Yeah. So I was I had a few little concerns about how I was going to go. So I stood on the first at my home club and feeling reasonably well, because I hit it quite good in the just in the practice nets. So obviously you can't see how the ball's going.
Let us pause for a moment, because we need to set the scene before you get into your round.
Okay.
Because I don't mean pause the recording, I mean pause the telling of the story.
Okay.
Because stepping onto the first tee, the score you were chasing was a plus 33% differential.
Yes.
Which you were playing off 2.1. You would need your target score is a differential of around about, doing the maths off the top of my head here, I would say around about 1.5.
Yeah.
So pilgrims, keep that in the back of your mind. As Andy Walker tells his tale, did he achieve 1.5?
So
back to
first tee, back to my story. Thank you for that interruption, by the way.
You're more than welcome. I can do it again later if you like.
So still on the first tee, and decided to pull out my 3 utility, just to, bit of a sort of conservative start. Duck hooked it into the water.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's par 5, took a drop, actually took my 3 utility out again and drilled it sort of up into the greenside bunker, splashed out to about 1.5 meters, but I missed the putt and made bogey. So I had a bogey start.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. So solid par at the second. Third, sort of slightly down the left-hand side of the fairway, I was blocked out and then had all the water down the right-hand side. Tried to hit a hook, but just blocked it straight right into the water.
Oh.
Took a drop, pitched onto the green, 2 putts, double.
This is not looking good for you at this point.
No. So then made a solid par at 3, made a good birdie at 4, which is par 5. I hit driver 4-iron to, about 30 feet and 2 putted. Reasonably solid par at 5. 6, hit the tee shot just straight left into a massive tree, and you just heard, hear that deep clunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got down there, looking around, can't find the ball. Getting a bit worried at this point in time. I was just about to turn around and walk back to the tee when my playing partner went, "Oh, here it is," and it sort of gone a little bit sort of forward and into the rough on the left hand side. So hit an 8-iron to right hand side of the green, got up and down for par. So felt like I'd sort of
got away with one there.
Got away with one there. The 8th hole was par 5. Hit it left. Another one of my little duck hooks left. I was behind this clump of trees. I had a gap of about 2 feet to get through with my 5-iron, and thought,
Sure.
that's big enough to get through, because the alternative was to just pitch out sideways. Actually hit a really good shot through the gap that I intended to hit it.
Come on.
9-iron onto the green, made the putt for birdie.
Ooh. So what are you sitting at now?
So I'm back to 1 over after 8.
Ooh, game.
Okay, feeling
on.
a little bit lucky, because 7 hit it left, thought I'd lost my ball, and was going to walk back, and ended up with a par.
It's game on.
8, I was not in a good spot off the tee after hitting it left again, and felt really lucky, I guess, to walk off the green with a birdie. 9 times out of 10 would have been happy to walk off with a par, but I've walked off with a birdie.
Yeah.
Made a good solid regulation par at 9, 10 par 5 again and I normally hit just a 3 utility off the forward tees, which we were off. But I thought, no, I'm going to take driver. Of course, I'm sort of starting to, try and be a little bit more aggressive off the tee, because I know with the strokes gained data that the further you are down the fairway, the better you are from a strokes gained perspective. But there's 2 bunkers, fairway bunkers down the left-hand side. One of them is really, really deep, and it's very difficult to get anywhere near the green if you hit it into this fairway bunker.
But at least you hadn't been hitting it left off the tee today, so it should
Correct,
be okay.
Correct. So what did I do? Hit it left into the fairway bunker, and not only
up against the lip.
Into the fairway bunker, it was actually on the upslope to the lip, where I could only get out with a wedge.
Nice.
So hit a wedge down the fairway. Probably I had 175 to the flag. Pulled out 5-iron, hit it to 30 feet, binned it.
What? Oh.
So I'm back to square.
Oh.
And going
1.5 differentials your target. This is game on.
However, I must admit, walking to the 11th tee, I sort of was feeling a little bit lucky.
Do you think?
I just made 3 birdies, of which 2 of them I was, in a position where par was a good score.
Mm.
And, I've somehow miraculously managed to make birdie after making a couple of good putts.
I think sinking a 30-footer is always going to help.
It does. It does. Anyway, on 11, 4 fairway, duck hooked it left. Ooh. Okay, I was behind a bush, and I could only pitch out, a little bit forward and sideways. I still had a shot of 60 meters to the flag, and I looked and I had my rangefinder, and it said 60 meters, but it didn't look 60 meters. You know how some pitch shots, it only looked about 40, 45 meters. So I had to convince myself to hit an aggressive enough pitch to get at the 60 meters, of which I only put my 40-meter pitch swing on it, and guess how far it went? So it ended up 20 meters short of the green, short of the flag, which wasn't even on the green, but I managed to get up and down for birdies, for bogey. So
there's so much to unpack out of that little escapade. Yeah.
The 12th is par 3, hit an 8-iron to about 15 feet, binned it.
Of course you
back
did.
to even par.
Far out. You're going to do it too, aren't you?
On 13. 13's my bogey hole where I've been having some issues with 13. So I've taken a 4-iron off the tee, aimed down the right-hand side of the fairway, because I know if I go down the right-hand side of the fairway, I can't make the fairway bunkers. And I almost hit it into the hazard on the left. It was a duck hook. And it sort of course, the hazard's only probably, 3 meters off the side of the fairway. And I was just hanging on to the side of the fairway. So I still had 7-iron out from the fairway. So I thought, okay, well, this is reasonable. I can still sort of get it on the green and a couple of putts and make par. Snap hooked my 7-iron into the water.
Oh, no.
Took a drop. Didn't get up and down, 6, 2 over.
That's out. That hurts.
So that did hurt a little bit. But it was the theme of the day, right? I'd been hitting it left and, that just continued. So on 14, hit a really good tee shot down the middle of the fairway. I had 80 meters to the green. And I airmailed it with a 54 degree, and it's dead over the back. It's a sharp downslope, and I just had no shot. So I pitched it probably 15 feet past the flag as best I could do, missed the putt, so tapped in for bogey. So I was 3 over.
So was this? How far were you on that 54 degree shot?
80 meters I was.
Right. So this wasn't a case of doing the opposite of what you did with the 40-meter pitch for a 60-meter shot.
No. It's yeah.
Was it a bit thin, or was it just?
What's that?
Was it a bit thin, or was it a flyer?
No. I actually did quite well. Because I've been doing in the high performance center. I've been doing some work with my wedges. But I'm still not, and because I've been with the Tour Tempo app and accelerating through the ball through impact, which is sort of, as we were talking about last week, I was actually decelerating through impact. I'm now not 100% sure what my distances are with my wedges, and I put my old 80-meter pitch shot with my 54 degree wedge on my new Tour Tempo 2-to-1.
So it's now 100
accelerating
meter
through
pitch.
the ball, and it's just airmailed the green.
Yeah. Okay.
So got to 15 par 5. Again, a bit of a tight tee shot because we were on the forward tees. So I took my 3 utility and hooked it into the hazard. Took a drop, hit my 3 hybrid utility down the fairway again. I had about 111 meters to the flag. I landed just short, pitched on, made the putt for bogey. So I was, 4 over, starting to think, this is sort of slipping away a little bit. Made a good solid par at 16. Made a reasonably good solid par at 17. Down 18, hit actually a really, really good tee shot with my 4 fairway. Had a 5-iron into the wind, had a 5-iron into the flag. Now the hazard runs all the way down the left again, and I've hooked it into the hazard.
How many have you hit in the hazard in this round? It's about 5.
I'll go through it in a couple of ticks. I just wanted to sort of finish the round. So I took a drop, and actually I was so close to the green because it actually landed just on the left-hand side of the green and kicked left. So I was able to drop almost next to the green, and I could putt, and I 2-putted for bogey. So I ended up with 77, 5 over.
Yeah.
Of which the first, I hit it left with my tee shot into the hazard. On the third, I hit it right with my approach shot into the hazard. On 13, I hit it left with my approach shot into the hazard. On 15, I hit my tee shot into the hazard. And on 18, I hit my approach shot left into the hazard. And then on 7 and 8, both tee shots were left, and 10 and 11, both tee shots were left. So I think we can pretty comfortably say that my bad shot is still going left.
It would appear so.
Mm. Mm. So I've been doing a fair bit of work over the last week or so back in the high performance center about with getting my the start of my downswing back into the slot so that I can actually hit it straight again.
What's your swing feel that you're kind of thinking of to make that happen?
So what I was, and this is using the Golf Swing Replay app. I had identified that I was sort of doing the opposite really of what you should be doing to be able to have your plane on your downswing shallower than your backswing, and that is taking it on the inside and getting sort of a little bit cramped up and then coming up over the top and having a steep downswing through impact. So one of the things I've been working on is working on either slightly outside the line on the way back or making sure that it's directly, it's straight back with my backswing. Trying to get it a little bit steeper on my backswing, and then really focusing on shallowing the golf club and trying to use my wrists even a little bit to
let it fall.
To let the golf club fall in behind myself to be able to get that squaring through impact. So it's when it works, and what I've noticed when it works, I'm hitting it probably, half a club to a club longer. And that's just because it's a more powerful position through impact.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about last week, when it comes to my swing speed, I was actually decelerating through impact with my full swing, whereas when I'm in the right position and have the club a lot shallower and coming from a shallower plane, my club head speed is actually the maximum through impact, which is going to make a huge difference on when it comes to distance of each club.
Yep. Have you thought at all about the role that your trail shoulder plays in transition?
Not really, no. The two things that I've identified that I've been doing is at the transition from the backswing to the start of my downswing, my head actually moves away from the ball, which then means I'm more upright through
standing up
through the downswing. So that's the early extension.
Yeah.
But also my lead shoulder, my left shoulder, actually starts turning straight away. So there's no. This
is what I'm talking about. Actually, exactly what you're describing. It's just the opposite way of describing it.
Yeah. So where I should be is a slight lateral movement forward at the start before my body starts turning and before my hips start turning.
Yeah.
However, my shoulders and my hips are starting to turn straight away.
Yep. So what I'm driving at, and it's about swing feels and swing thoughts. And keep in mind, in context, I am not for a moment trying to give you any technical advice. Okay. But it's just another way of thinking about how the body moves. Because what you're describing with your lead shoulder, as you're kind of becoming more upright and your lead shoulder is turning away from the ball, what's happening is that means your trail shoulder is moving towards the ball because it has to, because if your other shoulder's going the other way, that's the way it's going. And what that's doing is throwing your hands out, which is all leading to this over-the-top maneuver. Whereas, and sometimes the the swing thought can be focusing on the trail shoulder dropping as a first move rather than moving out, and that then prevents the lead shoulder from turning back because they can't both do that. So that's just another swing thought way of dealing with the same issue, is dropping. Because, excuse me, I had a very, very similar issue, which was causing, the cover drive, because that was rotating early from the top half rather than.
Yep.
I think when you look at, there's a thing from TPI with Greg Rose that runs the TPI over in LA, which is talking about the rock and roll before the rotating.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that vertical move before you then move horizontally.
Yeah, look, and I understand that. I think I would probably struggle to focus on my trail side because in my full swing I'm lead side dominant and very lead side dominant. I mean that's how I learned to play the game. That's how, if you read any of the books that Jack Nicklaus wrote, for instance, he's always, being a right-handed golfer, it's leading with your left side. So that's how I learned to play the game. And even still now I'm very lead side dominant rather than trail side dominant. So I don't.
Which is interesting because you're a right-hand dominant person playing right-handed golf.
Yeah, yeah. And quite interestingly, I have found I've switched with my short game and putting. I've switched to be right-hand dominant rather than left-hand dominant.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So it's been a really interesting transition with my short game, and there's a sort of a transition distance, sort of about that, and talking about the 40 to 60 meter distance. That's about my transition, where I transition back to being my lead side and left side dominant.
See, this is strange because, like, I'm right-hand dominant as a person, but I play golf left-handed. Yet I have had mentioned from people whose opinion I trust, like Scotty Fisher, that my swing and setup appears to be like bottom hand or trail side dominant.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Which is weird. Equally as weird as you being right-handed dominant but having your lead hand be the dominant force in your swing.
But that's the old school way of playing golf. That is your lead side is the dominant side, and it's that was. I mean that goes way back. I think even Ben Hogan, talks about that, and especially in the grip, he's very like his left hand is very strong, and he effectively says the right hand just comes along for the ride. So he's very.
But does it? I know you think that way, but like actually does it?
Well, that's according to him and the way that he thinks about his golf. And I think in that book, 5 Lessons, he talks about that when he talks about the grip, is that, the left hand is the dominant hand and the right hand effectively comes along for the ride.
Which is I think it's the right way to think about your swing. Otherwise you can run the risk of getting flippy and all sorts of other crazy things that happen. But whether or not that actually happens in the biomechanics of the swing, I think would be interesting when you really slow things down. And, I think Sarsho McKenzie would be an interesting one actually to talk to about that.
Yeah.
It would be. Because like with a lot of the science that's going into biomechanics, it actually turns on its head some of those old school theories that sure. You're doing something and you're actually doing something quite different. So anyway, interesting. Trail shoulder,
certainly for me, my focus is all around trying to get more outside the line and above sort of, the swing, the swing plane that I've traditionally been on my backswing, and then doing the opposite, getting below where my swing plane has traditionally been on the downswing, just to get more my club face shallowing, or the club head shallowing, and getting more. And it's basically, and you look at the likes of Lee Trevino and Mo Norman and those guys, they're square at impact for a huge amount of distance. I mean, I think Mo Norman was, I don't know, he was about 2 feet. I think his club head was square from impact, post impact. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to achieve my club path and my club face being square for longer through that impact zone.
It all makes sense. If only it was that simple.
Yes. I am finding it to be very, very difficult from the amount of practice and time that I've put into, my old swing. Now trying to change that and to get into a different position. I find my backswing is easier than my downswing. Trying to get into the right position on my downswing has been really challenging. So, yeah, it's just something that I think that over the next 6, 12 months, probably more, I'll always be working on, and always probably adjusting to a certain level.
Oh, and then there's tendencies that when you stop paying attention to it for a while, it slowly drifts back to the way that it was because it's so ingrained.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode here on unpacking your swing, I think. We run the risk of getting into a very technical wormhole discussion. Maybe we need Adam Young on the show to
maybe
go into quite some detail on it. It is interesting though, because you can change it. But yes, it takes time and doing the right things and changing it in the right ways as well, rather than sometimes you can make changes that aren't necessarily the right way of changing something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and a lot of commentators, they talk about the fact of working on your short game and working on your putting is your low hanging fruit, because it's in
easier.
Comparison to ball striking, it's easy to make big changes and takes a lot less time than what it does to have a complete overhaul of your swing.
It does, but as you've proved in that round, you putted the eyes out of it to post, a 77 that probably felt like an 85 with the way you were hitting the ball.
Yeah. Well, I've and I briefly mentioned it last week. Is my putting from a strokes gain perspective in the round was plus 4.2.
Yeah. So there's no low hanging fruit left on that tree.
Well, I missed a 1.5 meter putt on the first, and I feel as though I made everything else,
including one from 30 feet. Okay.
Exactly.
So
exactly
that lemon has been squeezed dry of juice.
Yeah. And that's not where my focus is, and I know that my focus needs to be getting these positions right in my swing. So, and it's not just stopping it going left. It's having my swing perform under pressure.
Yeah.
And as we know, when you're very steep and the club face, you're working a lot with your hands through impact, in order to have the club face square through impact.
Yeah.
When you're under pressure, a lot can go wrong with that.
Yeah.
And that's not the modern swing. You look at a lot of the PGA Tour guys. They're keeping the club face square through impact, through body rotation, not because they're trying to keep they're flipping their hands around.
That's true. Wow, there's a lot in that, Pilgrims. There's a lot in that. A little bit of a summer of soul searching, I feel, coming your way, Andy Walker.
Well, it's not necessarily soul searching, because I know what I have to do. I know the positions that I want to be in through my golf swing. I just need to spend the time in the high performance center to ingrain those positions, and that's the part, right? It's what we're talking about. It's the balancing, life, career, family, and still trying to put enough time into golf to
get better,
make something worthwhile of it.
And the trouble is, what you're taking on at the moment, there are no shortcuts.
No, there aren't. There are not.
And that's hard. That's definitely hard with all those things. I've got to admit, though, I get a massive kick out of hearing either of us refer to the High Performance Centre. It's just, I've got to. And doing it with a serious face. It's fantastic.
At the end of the day, and I think about David McClelland and where he was, and he started at about 52. That's when he started to prepare himself for the Australia-wide senior amateur circuit at 55. So that for me, I've still got 3 years to go until I'm 55. So there's 3 years of work that I can potentially put in on my swing before I get to that full open senior amateur Australia-wide level. So, I've still got time. It's not like, we've got the New South Wales senior amateur next year, and there's quite a few senior amateur tournaments that I do want to target, and I do want to play well in those events. But, the big goal is really, after the New South Wales Senior Amateur, it's really the Australia-wide event. So, there's time to be able to get my game to that level where I can perform under those conditions and perform well in those conditions.
There's always time. There's always time. I mean, any of these tournaments are merely opportunities to test where we're at. It's important and you want to do well, but it won't be the last one that you play in. So there's always time to continue that pilgrimage towards better golf, uncovering the missing links to better golf. Someone should start a podcast about that. Anyhow. So, that means, Andy Walker, that I don't think by the sound of it that you've achieved that 1.5 differential from that round of golf that you needed to.
I don't think 5 over is going to cut it.
To make inroads in the month of November, which means that we currently sit with 1 month left to play with Andy Walker on 14 points, asterisk, and myself on 18 points with 1 more month worth 3 points to play. However, the asterisk on your 14 is because you also currently hold the best round of the year, which is a bonus 4 points, which in real terms means that we are, when all is said and done, essentially sitting equal on 18 points with 1 month left to go.
So effectively what it means is that whoever has the best score in December is going to win, because even if you beat my best score from April, if I then beat you, it's going to be the best score and I'm going to get the bonus score. So
we have come down to what I like to refer to as the December shootout. It's all or nothing. I mean, we could make December worth double points if you want. Doesn't change anything. It's still whoever wins.
Exactly.
That's exciting. That is exciting.
So comes down to December.
Comes down to December. You got any rounds planned in December?
I do, not in the first little bit of December, but towards the back end, closer to Christmas, I've got a couple of rounds planned. Gives me some time to spend in the High Performance Centre to get these swing changes, well, at least a little bit more groove than where they are at the moment, because I've got a bit of work to do.
What have you got planned, rounds wise?
So I've got a round planned either the 17th or the 24th. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet, and then I'll do one on the last day of December, the 31st. Ooh. I'll sneak one in there.
Ooh.
On New Year's Eve.
Interesting. I have a round planned on the 18th of December.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. It's a Wednesday. That's unusual for you.
It is. It's because I don't have a Saturday free in December at all.
Okay.
So I am taking a half day of leave to play in the Wednesday comp on the 18th in the lead up to Christmas, because I will not be having a -1 and meekly hand over the trophy.
So here's an idea. We one I prepared earlier. You're up around my way, aren't you, on the Christmas holidays?
I will be very close to you on the central coast of New South Wales from, I think, the 27th or 28th of December until probably New Year's Day or something like that. So, yes, I will be there.
What are your thoughts on a last day shootout?
I love it.
For the Cup.
I love I'll bring it with me.
Yeah, nice.
We can have a presentation. 100%. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what
I'll have the home ground advantage, but as long as you don't mind giving away the home ground advantage, then
I don't really have a choice.
Then it's all good. I mean, look, we will have a round each prior to that, so it doesn't necessarily mean that particular round will be the round that wins the month, but certainly,
unless we were to put in a very late caveat to the rules.
Potentially, we could do.
It's worth thinking about. We'll give it some thought over the next week, Pilgrims. We'll report back in the next episode because we won't have played a round of golf before then, so it's fine. Yes, let's do that. That's exciting. That would be a fantastic way to see out the new year with a round of golf. Nice work. Well, that's exciting. So it's all on for December.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hopefully, it'd be good to, if say we didn't, and we don't want to sort of massage it too much, but it'd be good to be able to go into that last round and have the finale on the last day of the year. I think that'd be cool.
It still is, because regardless of how either of the rounds go on, say, the 17th, 18th or 24th, the 31st is still an opportunity to win the month. So it's still all on.
Yeah.
It doesn't solely come down to who wins that day, but it could. So it's I think it's a fantastic way of seeing out the year, Andy Walker.
Nice.
Get a bit of live audio, maybe a little bit of video for the YouTube channel. We'll see how we go. No promises.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Good one. All right. So that's the yearly championship update. So how are we travelling? 47 minutes. It's been quite the marathon discussion of that round.
Yeah, had a bit more than what I'd planned to talk about. But
it's not really a surprise, let's be honest. No. There's a couple of topics that I feel we might in fact hold over until the next episode, because I think it's fair to say that they too will carry with them a considerable amount of time, and that is, Pilgrims, I do plan to share. I've done some work this week on my summer development plan in the lead up to the senior amateur in March, and I've engaged the assistance of some artificial intelligence to work on my improvement plan.
Because that worked so well for us in an app earlier in the year.
It's not the same artificial intelligence.
What's going on there?
Yeah. No, it was a very interesting process. I will take you all through the results, but ChatGPT has put its collective mind towards a development plan to get an 8 handicap golfer down to scratch. Without going through the details, but a few things that's interesting in it, and I want to read a couple of quotes to you, Andy Walker. Bear with me as I find this piece of information.
So it's a very individual approach to putting together a
not to begin with
game improvement plan.
Yeah, but ChatGPT starts with this, what I would consider very supportive statement. And it says, improving from an 8 handicap to a scratch golfer requires a focused, structured plan that addresses all aspects of the game, emphasizing both technical skills and mental preparation. Here's a comprehensive development plan. And then it goes into the details, which I'll take you through in further episodes. But then it goes on to say, because I did ask for a little bit of clarification on certain things, it goes on to say, this plan requires discipline and patience with steady progress driven by consistent effort across technical, physical, and mental dimensions.
It's just throwing out the generalizations, really, isn't it?
Isn't it? How much time can you dedicate to practice each week? I can help tweak the plan to fit your schedule. So I said, yeah, go for it. Tweak away. And then it's come up with a plan that says time commitment is approximately 12 to 15 hours per week.
Right.
That's quite a lot. It goes through its specific plan. And then it says that getting from an 8 to a 12, not 8 to a scratch, not 8 to a 12. I could do that now.
I was going to say, it's quite interesting that they want you to spend 12 to 15 hours a week.
To go up by 4. No.
From 8 to 12.
Get 8 to scratch, it says should take somewhere between, following this plan, should take somewhere between 12 to 18 months.
Mm. See, what I think would be an interesting approach is to first of all put your strokes gain data into ChatGPT and then go, these are my stats. Please develop a game improvement plan based on my strokes gain data.
That is a good idea. That's a very good idea. I did ask ChatGPT another question today, and I'm not going to tell you what the question was. I'm going to read you out the introduction to the answer. ChatGPT answered my question with this. It says, meditation can be incredibly beneficial for golf improvement as the sport relies heavily on mental focus, emotional control, and consistency.
You sure that wasn't an email from Mick Patterson?
Don't listen to him, Mick. So, yeah, I've got a great list here of meditation suggestions from ChatGPT, which is very useful. We'll be putting that into practice as well.
Does ChatGPT suggest a walking meditation?
No, it doesn't.
It's rubbish then.
It does suggest some other things. It suggests box breathing, which I believe we were talking about recently.
We were.
It suggests, you'll like this one, body scan meditation.
What is body scan meditation?
I'm glad you asked. This helps with relaxation and body awareness. Sit or lie down, close your eyes and slowly focus on each part of your body, from your head down to your toes. Release tension in areas like your grip, shoulders or back, which are critical for an optimal swing.
There you go.
Yep. So quite a lot of things that it suggests. I think there's something in that. It does. Here you go. It doesn't talk about doing a walking meditation, but it says what to do. Sit comfortably in a quiet place.
Excellent.
Close your eyes and take slow, deep breaths. And then it goes on to say other things. Set a simple intention for the day, like stay present on every shot or enjoy the game. Thoughts on enjoying the game, Andy Walker?
Well, it's a good start. I mean, that's part of why we go out and play, isn't it?
Is it? Do you enjoy golf?
I enjoy golf.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. So anyway,
maybe not at the time.
Yeah.
when I snap hook so many tee shots and approach shots into the water, but when I look back, I'd much rather be doing that than work.
No, I can understand that. But no, there is plenty to focus on. I think there are some very, very good drills that ChatGPT has suggested from a practical perspective, such as for short game, a ladder drill. Have you come across that ladder drill? Pretty simply, just in terms of working on your pitching from set distances back from the green, so 5 meters, 10 meters, 20 meters, 40 meters, etc., and then doing those, grooving those in, but then randomly picking those distances so that you're doing the random practice as well as the
It's
block
interesting
practice.
because I have been doing a version of that with the Garmin R10 and Awesome Golf, in that part of my daily practice session is and what I've been doing, I've been hitting 20 pitch shots and having 5 pitch shots and it's sort of block the 5 is the block practice to different distances, but then changing it each 5. So I'm not hitting 20 to the same distance. I'm hitting 5 to 40 meters, and then 5 to 60 meters, and then 5 to 55 meters, and then 5 to 75 meters. I find at the moment, because I'm not 100% sure, I'm not that confident with how far each swing at different distances and swing speeds are going, is that picking distances hasn't really been that helpful. That random practice, I'm finding it more useful to do it in blocks of 5, so I get a good feeling on, okay, well, if I take the club back to 8 o'clock and I can keep my club head speed at around the sort of low 50 kilometers an hour, I know it's going to go 45 meters. So that's what I don't it flies 45 meters. I don't really take into consideration the run or the spin that the R10 is saying. It's all about how far is
the carry distance.
Does it fly? Yeah, the carry distance.
100%.
So yeah, I'm finding it much more valuable to be practicing in blocks of 5 rather than, because I have tried sort of random practice, and I'm just finding I'm not finding that as useful as the block practice at the moment.
I would imagine that it's a staged thing, to be honest, because at the moment it's about grooving that in and getting the knowledge sort of in your hands and in your body of what a swing feels like to hit a certain distance, and that will take time to groove that in to a point where you've got it in the toolbox that you can just pull out and go, well, here's my 65 meter swing, here's my 40 meter swing, etc. But once you get to that point, and maybe it's something that you do that block practice for a period of time, but then there's an element at the end to gamify it a bit and just test the skills.
Yep.
And go, I've done that, and now I'm going to spend 5 minutes at the end just, with a randomizer throwing a yardage at me, and I'm going to try and hit as close to that yardage as I can, just as a little game and skill test at the end of the practice session. I could see that working, but I wouldn't be moving to it for the whole practice session. I'd just be doing it as a bit of a fun way of testing the skills.
Finishing it off,
Yeah, and trying to put them in putting a little bit more of game style pressure on the skill execution at the end of the session.
Yep.
I could see that working.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, there are a few things to work towards. I think the reality is in my situation at the moment, I am having a very strong focus on, or I intend to, once I can actually spend a little bit of time. I'm in quite a busy period at the moment from a work perspective, so that's derailed a little bit of the training side of things. But once I get the chance to get back into that in the next week or so, my focus is really going to be on the short game.
Yep.
And I think with the new SM10s that have gone into the bag recently, as well as a couple of the coaching sessions that I've had with Jake, focusing on, in particular, the wedges, dialing them in, say, from 85, 60, 40 metres and then around the greens. I can really feel some good stuff coming with that and a lot more confidence in that part of the game. But it just needs so many more reps just to really get that, kind of tight and get that consistent. So I think that's going to be the focus area for me. And I think that's, in all honesty, I reckon there's 2 to 4 shots that could come off the handicap based on that alone without too many changes to ball striking at the moment.
Okay.
So I genuinely think between now and March, I think that's probably where I need to spend my time. Interspersing it, of course, with a little bit of, keeping the swing plane tidy with probably more irons and those sorts of things in the high performance centre. I'm not sure that there's a huge amount of value in hitting driver in the high performance centre, to be perfectly honest. I think it's more about sort of mid irons.
And look, I'm finding that I'm moving away from the driver in the high performance centre, and one of the reasons why I'm doing that is that if I can't get my swing into the right areas and on the right plane with my shorter to medium clubs, I've got no chance of doing it with a driver.
See, I don't disagree with you.
So I'm going up to my 3 utility.
Yeah.
And occasionally I'm pulling the 4 fairway out of the bag as well, maybe every 4th or 5th session. But I'm finding it much better to be working on the shorter to mid irons first to get the swing in the right positions rather than driver, because at the end of the day, I'm with driver. Yes, I'm trying to get it into the right positions, but it's more for what I'm trying to do at the moment is trying to get my driver distance a little bit further. So I'm trying to just hit it a bit further, and that's also part of the Tour Tempo app as well, in trying to get my tempo with my driver a little bit quicker. So I'd prefer, rather than hitting balls in the high performance center, I'd prefer to be working with my driver with the Tour Tempo app to try and get my tempo a bit quicker, and then work on the shorter to mid irons on the technical aspects of my swing.
I think just before anyone freaks out about hearing you say something like get my tempo a bit quicker, you're still obviously talking about keeping the 3-to-1 ratio, but just making the overall swing speed faster.
Yep.
Yes. I agree. My only question would be, is your driver swing the same as the swing that you put on with your irons?
Well, it's not the same, because my ball position is, for the difference between the ball position with a 6 to 8 iron is very different to what it is with my driver. Yeah. Even my 4 fairway to my driver is there's probably a good few centimeters there of difference, and that's because with a driver at impact, you need to be you need to have bottomed out on your swing and actually be back on the upswing when you're making contact. So it's a different swing, but at this stage of the game of where I'm at, I don't feel it's in my best interest to be actually hitting balls with the driver in the high performance center. I think I can make better gains with the short to mid irons.
Yes. Do you do anything with spine tilt in your setup with driver?
No, not intentionally, but I know that that I have more spine tilt with my driver than what I do with my shorter irons. Yeah, but it's not an intentional thing. It's just something that, I've always done. Like if I look at my setup with my driver and I have compared at different stages, I do have that, and Rory's probably a good one to look at with his spine tilt with his driver. And while I'm not in any way, shape, or form comparing myself with Rory, but yes, I've got a lot more spine tilt with my driver than what I do with my irons.
It is something I've been mucking around with over the last 6 months of deliberately having a little bit of spine tilt with driver. I have found it helpful, just out of interest. So There's no shortage of YouTube videos about that topic as well, let me tell you.
No. Well, there's no shortage of YouTube videos about really everything.
Yeah.
In relation to golf, but as we talked about last week, it's just taking bits and pieces that relate to what you want to achieve in your golf swing rather than trying everything.
100%. 100%. So, Andy Walker, I feel like we're getting to the end of yet another cracking episode. Certainly delved into some detail about the November results. We've set up a crackerjack finish to the year for the yearly championship. The answers to that won't be known till the new year.
That is true.
Which is exciting. So we're now at the 3rd of December. I feel like we've got a couple more episodes in us before we get to the Christmas break. And Pilgrims, we certainly will take that opportunity as we get closer to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Next episode, I would like to dive into where I end up with my own development plan. And there's a little bit of psychology analysis to share with you as well, Andy Walker, that I think you'll enjoy.
Right. Looking forward to that.
As am I. But we'll save that for next week. Other than that, is there anything that we've missed?
I think really there's only one thing left to do, and that is to rock out, Pilgrims.
Thanks for listening to us today. We love hearing from our pilgrims, so please reach out to us through any of the links in the show notes. We know golf is hard, so we hope we can help you shoot better scores and inspire you to keep trying. Rock on, Pilgrims.